So many wrong things is happening all the time. In fact, nothing right is happening in my life. Only wrong things are happening. Only things which we would not normally expect. So this whole section of and here Bhishmadev initially he's wondering. He is exclaiming with great feeling. How unjust it is, how unfair it is that these things happen with people who are totally righteous, totally protected by Dharma and religion and good association and even achieving himself. But he will not stop at this point. He will go explaining why these things really happen. So in Mahabharata, he basically gives 4 reasons. While explaining to Maharaja Yudhishthira why these things are happening to people, he gives 4 reasons. And here actually, the first reason he will state in the verse number 14. Sarvam Kala Kritam Manye. In my opinion, the soul behind this is Kala, time. The reason is time. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, while explaining this statement of Bhishmadev, says that he is kind of playing along with the common mentality of people. We know this reason, we sometimes employ this reason to explain why it happened to this person or to that person, and we say, this time. Very often we say Kali Yuga. It's the reason of all the problems which we have. Kali Yuga, right? Yeah. Kali Yuga Prabhu, what can we do? It's Kali Yuga, or Kali Yuga Mataji, what can we do? And this is the first reason and the first explanation which kind of comes to mind. Why does it happen? It happens because, what can you do? There is this time. And that's a good explanation because you don't have to blame anyone, and time will not get offended at you. So, basically, this is the first trick which you can employ to explain this. Oh yeah, it's time, okay, what can you do? But really it's not an explanation in reality. Because what is time? By saying time is the common cause. Nyaya explains different causes of different events. And there are some general causes. And time is one of them. General cause means it's not a specific cause. Yes, it's a cause. There is some kind of causal relationship. Yes, time is passing, and because of time it's happening. But it doesn't explain anything. If you just say it's time, it's just you feel a little good. Yes, time, what can you do? But it doesn't really give explanation. So Bhishmadev in Mahabharata, he goes further. He gives 4 reasons, as I said. He said that the second reason, which if we consider all these bad events which are happening with us in our life or in the lives of other people, the second reason is svabhava. Svabhava means our nature. If we really get a little deeper in the understanding of cause and effect relationship, we will understand that all the events which are happening with us are more or less manifestation of our inner state of mind. We more or less attract all these events. And when we try to blame others, really, like there is a saying, if you point your finger in one direction, there are 3 fingers pointing in the right direction upon yourself. If you try to blame somebody and say he is guilty, ultimately it's you. Ultimately you have a specific nature, and this specific nature has an ability to create specific situations which actually you want. Ultimately, the world is a big mirror. And you have a certain nature and you attract all these people and all these situations and all the problems you attract. Sometimes people, in the middle of problems, they start blaming something, but ultimately, very often it happens that without problems we become bored. Really, if there was no problems in our life, we would become terribly bored. And subconsciously we started creating these problems so that there would be some excitement in our life. Very often it is the case with us. Why all these things are happening to us. And if there is no problem, the life is kind of boring. So, Bhishmadev is saying that Svabhav, this is your nature. And if you examine very minutely your nature, how your nature works, how your mentality works, what is the interaction between other people, and how you react to all these interactions, you will understand all these things. You are the cause of it. But again, this is not deep enough understanding, because then the question is, okay, right, I'm the cause of it, but why am I as I am? Why it is? Why my nature is like this? Why my nature is not different? You have the right to ask this question. Okay, right. All these problems, I'm guilty, but why? Why am I like this? Why I'm not different? There are some other people who are different. Why I'm not this nice, peaceful, dominical guy? Why I'm wild, Rajasic person? So the third reason which Bhishmadev gives, and we all know this reason, which ultimately doesn't explain much either. Karma, prarabdha. This is the third reason that this is prarabdha. And there is a long story in Shanti Parma where Bhishmadev is trying to explain this to Yudhishthira. This probably famous story, you might have heard it. Story about Gautami, Brahmani widow who had a little son. And she was, all her life she was worshipping Thakur. She was worshipping the deity. And she had a little son. The son was only 10 years old. And what she did, she asked the son, my dear son, please go and pick some flowers for my Thakur's puja. And the little son, just imagine, because sometimes when we hear in a very superficial way. But just imagine the situation. She is an elderly lady. She has no protector. She has a little son who is only 10 years old. She is worshipping the Lord every day. And she is sending her son to pick up flowers to do puja for the Lord. And the son goes to the bushes. And the black cobra is crawling and biting his son. And the son fell dead. He fell dead. Just imagine this. What a terrible thing happens. She didn't send him to do some sinful activities. He was sent to pick some flowers to worship the Lord. And the snake bit him, and he was dead. So what happened next? Bhishmadev is telling the story. One hunter was there, and hunter knew mantras to spell the snakes, to put spell upon the snakes. So the hunter saw this and he became very emotional. And he chanted the mantra and he took the snake and put it in the basket.